Hello, and the postman has been busy and stuff has arrived for the Volvo. And today I'm going to do something about its beautiful face, which is all smooshed up. Yeah, I'm going to try and sort out this bent bumper, fix this, take out the bag, it'll make more sense then. I'll take out this bag, it'll make more sense then. This drop link on the other side. And so it'll drive straight, it'll look prettier. Oh, and what else am I going to do? Oh yeah, the rust, there's more rust. Everything's got rust in it. I was going to say I'm taking a break from the Alpha because I'm bored of rust, and then there's rust to do in this one. Keep me busy.
Well, check this out. Volvo, being super careful and thoughtful, instead of giving a little 13mm nut they have to go and find 4 extension bars and an angled joint for, just give a little twisty thing to undo the battery and take it out. Isn't that handy? I've got to take this battery out because the hole in the inner wing is down here, which is a bit closer to a battery than I would like to be welding. Aren't you thoughtful, Volvo?
Right, hubcaps off, shiny new wheels revealed. Actually looking a bit grubby already, and I haven't actually driven it anywhere yet. And the interior is still dry. Yes! I was just getting a bunch of sockets out thinking this would be so much easier with an impact wrench, and I thought, I've got an impact wrench. Oh yeah, thank you Patreon. As always, as well as the big 3-ton jack taking the bulk of the weight, we've got a very, very sturdy 3-ton axle stand under there as well, so if anything should fail, we should be okay. Right, so here is my little area of grottiness. I'll get the wire brush on the grinder, find out how bad it really is, and quickly plate a new bit in there. Oh good, I love welding. I think I need a new wire brush after dealing with the Alpha. This is kind of halved in size after the weekend. Dear oh dear. Only find one glove. I don't know where the other ones are gone. Well, it's a bit of a hole to fill in. Not too bad, I suppose. Right, so this little bracket here is part of the battery holder, so I've left that in place and just cut the skin off. I've cut this shape to fit over there. Everything is zipped up, so I'll clip that in there with a magnet and get zipping. Izzy wizzy, let's get busy and all that. At least I'm slightly sheltered from the wind inside the wheel arch. Slightly. Can't see what I'm doing. Something I've noticed, this is a massively powerful magnet, and if I'm welding really close to it, the weld goes bizarre, so it must affect the way the wire pulls or something happens, but I have to remember to remove that from the other side of bits of metal or anywhere near where I'm welding, which is curious. Not a bad edge just there. I'll just quickly zip along that to tidy it up. Okay. That's actually quite tidy on that bit that you can't see. Always the way. The wind's getting up and there's collateral damage. My digestive blew off the welder. And it broke! Well, that's done, or at least done enough to hide in a wheel well and never be seen again once it's got a bit of underseal on it. Now move on to the other side, got a drop link to fit. Yay! Right, so I left the other side up on the jack as well, because I'm going to do the drop link on this side and then take the bumper off, which needs both sides up in the air. something I've found with this car is that these nuts on the wheel lugs feel really like they're glued on, and they're a horrible thing to undo and do up manually, so this is really making my life easier. Now this old jack, the old black one, is 2.25 tons, which is a good amount of lift, but the pad is quite small, so when you put it under the chassis rails, I always feel like you need to put a block of wood under there to spread the load, not dig those little teeth in. I've got the big Draper 3-ton stand on this side as well, so it should be nice and solid. Maybe I'll even find what I did with my bottles of Underseal and start spraying it over there. Maybe, maybe not. Now, if you remember last time, this was just twisting and it was unscrewing itself from the bottom of the drop link. So now I've got a new one, I can just unscrew this until it snaps and then undo that one. Well, unfortunately, I can't get this on here. That's really annoying. I thought I'd be able to undo that with the impact, but that won't reach on there, which is irritating. Here we go. Here's the top half of the bush, whoops, which isn't doing a lot of good there anymore. Let's try and get the bottom half off now, which unfortunately I can't get the impact in there because of the steering rack, which I don't feel like disturbing today. Let's try it with a big spanner. I did put some WD-40 on it earlier in the week. God, this is going to be a fun one. I already know, just from that first twist, that I'm going to need the heat induction tool. Yay! Heat induction tool! Now I've kind of learned the hard way through bitter experience that sometimes it's not worth bothering going in with bigger and bigger spanners, more and more a WD-40, try and batter these things till they come out. Just go in with the big gun straight away and you can carry on with your life. This one's really, really tight, so I'm going to go all out and give it a lot of heat. More probably than you might necessarily want to. Oh. Yep, that's working. Let's go find a spanner. This would be easier if the steering thing wasn't there. Oh, god damn, that is tight. It's a bit more heat. Well, I guess it's getting quite warm with that rubber bush that's in there. It smells like a rubber bush on fire. Oh, damn it. Heat and extreme force always win. Have the right tool, the job's so much easier. So here's the new one, complete with new bushes. So I've now got a spare pair of these two bushes because I bought them separately first of all before I realised that this was going to smash in half. Oops, don't run away. And how easy this will be to reposition. Yeah, pretty easy. Tension in the anti-roll bar. If I just put the top bush in, that will just stop it falling out, so I can not have to worry about supporting it as well as everything else. I need leverage. Aha! I have a lever. Eventually I figured out the way to do this is to put a big lever into this cross-links bracket, lever the anti-roll bar up, and then you can position it all in the right place to line up and bolt up. And importantly, what I did wrong first of all was I put that top bush on there, and that didn't mean I had enough movement to manoeuvre it into place, so just had the top bolt on very loosely, so when I drop it repeatedly it doesn't fall on the floor. And I'm going to call that done. Now while I'm here, I was going to change the faded cracked side light for a new unit, a new old stock one I found off Facebook Marketplace. Unfortunately I didn't notice that this was a facelift one, which is a little bit larger, goes too far back into the wing, so this will be back on eBay again this afternoon if you want to check out this bargain £20 new old stock Volvo 700 facelift side light indicator unit, eBay this afternoon. Now something I hadn't realised until the owner of the Volvo 200 actually videoed a while ago is that these have got a twin filament on the side lights. So there's a side light filament and a running light filament, although this looks like a standard stop tail light bulb rather than a particularly special one, which I think is what you're meant to have, minus new proper ones of those. One last thing I had to do was drill a new hole for these little pads, or one of these little pads which support the battery tray, as I had to weld one of them out of the way. All done now. Well, I've been lying under for a few minutes trying to work out exactly how to take the bumper apart. What I can see is there's a crash bar here, like a collapsible crash bar, which bolts through the front of the front strut or chassis rail here. Then that is bolted to the back of this crash bar here, which has had something of a wallop looking at the shape of it down here. And then that is all held on behind these plastic clips which don't really want to come off. I'm thinking if I get a big hammer, a block of wood, I can maybe put it in here, hammer that forward, and maybe I can then just kind of straighten it without disassembling everything. Worth a try, surely. Okay, I made a mistake. When I was lying under the car, I reached out to push the start button on the video recorder and it didn't start. I heard it made a little kind of shuttery noise. I thought it was running, it wasn't, so I've got no footage of me thwacking the back of this bumper with a big block of wood and a big hammer, which is a shame because it was quite dramatic and I'm sure it would have been a really fun and exciting bit of the video, but it doesn't exist. What did happen was it all moved forward maybe half a centimetre or so, so it's improved a little bit and given me enough leeway now to move this indicator cluster just forward the right way around now, so it doesn't look pressed back and quite so squished. This plastic outer cover though, it feels like it's kind of deformed permanently, having been on there in a squishy position for so long. And the crash bar itself is also kind of kinked in the middle, so I think I'll be better off with a new one rather than trying to hammer that one flat. I'm sure you can hammer it flat, but it's a deformable piece, and so once you've deformed it once, it's lost some of its strength for next time, so if there was a second impact, it wouldn't be as strong. So I think that's more for the shopping list. But it does look a tiny bit better though. This isn't quite so squished as it was before. A little bit. Part of the problem is that the metal underneath is pushing up, and so this lip is not behind this metal piece here, so it looks far worse than it actually is. Can't actually push it down at all to make it fit. It's all kinked around. Well, I've called it a day on fixing the Volvo for the time being. I've done, I think, as much as I can do. The drop link is fixed, which is good. That means it's MOTable. The battery is back in. I didn't have any silver paint because lockdown and I can't go down to Halfords and just buy a Ralcan. So that's going to have to stay zinced and seam sealed for the time being. So there'll be silver underneath the battery when that's done. And I must go and check in the boot of this car because I think the underseal spray may actually be in the boot of this particular car I'm sat in right now. So that bit of welding is done, so I think we're good for the MOT when we finally get the chance to go and get that test done. The MOT on this car has now run out, but the 6-month extension thing because of lockdown is continuing, so it's still okay to have this car parked, you know, move it around on the road and stuff just for the time being. The bumper, the bumper and side light, that was less exciting. Really annoyed at myself for not bothering to check whether or not there was a facelift on these cars. I thought there wasn't. I thought it kind of stayed the same the entire production run, so I'm a bit irritated at myself for not bothering to see if there was a difference. Now I need to sell that one and get my money back. Never mind, I'm sure I will because that's a nice thing. The bumper, looking at that crash bar, I've straightened it a little bit. but not enough, and it's quite wavy further down the centre of the thing, so it doesn't look like it was a significant bang this car had, but it was enough of a knock to deform that whole deformable area in a fairly deformative way. So I think what I'll do, rather than trying to bash it with a hammer and get it wavy and never quite right, once we are able to go back to breakers yards, I will add a new crash bar to my list of bits to replace. And also I think that plastic cover, I might get a new one of those as well, because it's not marked, but it seems to have been pushed around so much that it's now permanently flexed up over in front of the side light, which is now adjusted into the right place. So my shopping list has just grown by 2 more items. At least I've looked, and at least I know, because various people were saying you can probably just straighten it out, but I think it's too twisted to make a decent job of it, and as it is crash structure, I'd rather have unhammered crash structure, if that makes sense, rather than crash structure that's taken a beating once already. So right, unfortunately I can't go and take this thing for a test drive. Maybe if I need anything from the shops later, I will. Oh, maybe I can go to the shops. I haven't been to the shops for a few days. Yeah, I'm going to take this for a test drive to the shops. I need milk. I need milk all of a sudden. Thanks for watching today. I'm really hoping the headlining material will turn up. Oh, look at this. This is horrid. This is absolutely disgusting. As soon as that arrives, I will get this all polished off. I'll get a nail brush or something, get that all done. Oh, interestingly, I didn't really pay attention to this before. This was like a vinyl before, and I bought like a fabric, but doesn't really matter as long as it's white and not dropping fuzz everywhere. Cool. Stay safe, everyone. If you've enjoyed this, please do hit like, please hit subscribe. Let's get those numbers up. My new challenge, let's get 50,000 subscribers by Christmas. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? So if you haven't hit subscribe already, please do. If you've enjoyed this, hit like, and join me again for another video very soon indeed. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.